pin 10 and pin 12, they're gonna have power. Also on this connector number 11 is supposed to have power. If there's no power, nothing's gonna work on those connectors. Also number 10 and 12 on here, number 10 and that's 10 and that's 12, they have to be 12 volt feet of power, otherwise it's not gonna work. If any of those voltages don't have supply, nothing's gonna work. You can have a good motor, your control unit, the whole thing could be good, light up and everything, but if there's no power on those connectors, nothing's gonna work. I actually ended up printing a drawing here that shows some of the numbers on the wires. There's the motor right here with the little propeller drawing thing, and obviously the E32 unit, that's the electronic that's mounted on the actual blower motor for the bunker here. If you go up here in the drawing where it says F1543 in F05, F18, those are fuses that if one of those is blown and it's not feeding, it's just gonna cut the whole loop to the control unit here, and also obviously to the motor, and it's gonna give you a big headache trying to understand why your AC or your heater is not working. But as long as you check all your fuses and then you check voltages, make sure there's power. Also, you gotta make sure you got a good ground. Ground is right here. It looks like a terminal mounted behind the walls here with what everything is mounted. It's gonna be a good ground terminal stud, I would think. So you gotta make sure you got a good ground, because if everything reads good, all the fuses are good, power on all these connectors that I just tested out, if you don't have a ground, absolutely nothing's gonna run. Might not even have a digital display here if you don't have a ground. And then again, there could be different grounds going in here. Matter of fact, I believe there's a ground, if I'm correct, is wire number 1 on here. I think that's a ground that comes from all the way to the dash in the front over there by the main fuse box. So I literally had to troubleshoot everything from the main fuse box all the way back here and all these connectors, and I had to identify all these wire numbers and match what wires go from here to the actual connector that goes to the blower. I had to use a meter just to verify, check continuity between wires behind the controller that go to here. Some of these numbers you can read them in if you go back to these connectors, for instance, one of the power wire that comes from the actual blower motor is actually, it's hard to see, but it's actually the number 10 on this connector, which number 10 is kind of like behind here. It's just hard to see it, but that's the main power going into the motor. Also, this blower motor also needs the other power feed. The other power feed will be this guy. It's 16 gauge. The main power is a 14 gauge. The ground is a 14 gauge wire stranded. So the other thing, if this wire on here, that's, I believe, is connection number 6. 3 is ground, 4 is power, 5 is not used, and number 6 is, it's also power, but this actually comes in to feed the speeds, low speed, medium, high. It's actually a 4-speed motor, so this also has to have power in order to work, because you can have a good ground and power. Let me see if I can show this. Let me just set it out where I can show you guys that's gotta be power on both. Otherwise it won't work. You can have main power going to it, but if there's not a command of whether you want low or high speed coming from the main circuitry, it's not gonna do anything. So I don't know if it's gonna be able to see these, but here's the main power, and that's number 4 connector. Next to it is ground. Obviously we won't see any light because that's just the ground, but you use a meter to make sure you got a good ground. And then there's the last one, which is number 6 connector. That's this guy. This guy is telling us where we want to be, whether it's low, medium, high speed. But as you can see, you got that power, and also you got power on here. And other wires and fuses that I show you, those are the ones that feed all these supply for this motor. So the motor obviously is located on under the bed in the bunk. Literally just seats like this. It's mounted with 4 screws, obviously, like that. This whole unit is, I believe this is the actuator where it switches the air direction and whatnot. It's a filter in here, obviously. There's some electronics over here too that I believe the same drawing kind of shows those electronics. I didn't have any problem with that, so I didn't have to mess with that. But I'm gonna show you really quick that I actually had 2 motors just because I thought it was bad motor. So I'm gonna try to connect this, and you guys are gonna see it's gonna start right up. Yeah, there it goes. To control the speed, you can see I'm pushing the buttons right there for high and low. You can see the display little icon there. So I'm glad that I found the problem, because summer is coming and it gets pretty hot up here. Really quick, I'm gonna show you some of the fuses here on the dash, so you might see that drivers are always messy. So some of the fuses that we actually look for will be, there's like 4 or 5 as you saw on our drawing, but this is one of the main ones. This guy, number 16, it's a 5 amp. I believe those guys up there, they have to be in good condition. This series one is burnt out. This is one of the 12-volt cigarette lighter socket, so I'm gonna change that in a second. That actually blew when I was troubleshooting, because I accidentally touched the ground. But anyway, so all those, I believe also 48 fuse supposed to be in good condition, because it's part of the main circuit. See it right now, but I know it's here somewhere. But anyway, all those fuses are literally listed right here. For instance, I got 60. This is the main guy that was giving me issues, but there's also T48, as I thought. 48 is a LCM HVAC fan, so that's the main one you gotta look for. And all these ones that say sleeper, functions, lighting, you gotta make sure they're in good condition. And there's another one here, 51, it's climate control. All these guys, it's about at least 8 fuses that I go with it. Alright, bro, that was all, friends, and I hope it helps. And if you got any questions, you can subscribe, message me, whatever you want to do. But it took me a while to fix all this, just so the driver had some sort of cooling and heating in the bunk. This is really important. Thank you, guys.